Hey, Donald, what time do you think you're coming home today?
Oh, I think I might be a little late, actually, so don't bother cooking dinner for me.
So I guess we're not eating dinner together again this week.
I'm sorry, but it's out of my hands, really. I just have a lot of meetings I need to attend.
Well, it seems to me like you might be going out just a bit too much lately. I mean, you're almost never home at all, not even on the weekends. You didn't even come to Brian's soccer game. Even though you promised him that you would be there for him, he was really upset about that.
Well, I already apologized to him, so that's been settled. Just how many times are you going to remind me of this, huh?
Actually, you didn't even apologize to him, you just did it to me. But I don't think that you've said a word about it to Brian at all.
Well, that's because by the time I get home, he's already asleep, so I can't talk with him. And in the morning, I'm too busy getting ready for work to be able to sit down and talk this out.
I really think that you have more time to talk to your son than you think. You need to make more time for him. You haven't done anything fun with him since he started school. He's always asking about when you're going to come home.
Well, he has to learn that adults have to work for a living. I mean, don't you realize that I'm providing for you and Brian? You both should be grateful for how hard I work for this family.
And we are really, really grateful for all that you do. But the fact is that you're a father and you need to be there for your son now. I know that you're busy, but we're both busy.
I'm sorry, but you're just a housewife with a part-time job. We are not the same. You aren't nearly as busy as I am.
I understand that, but we both need to be taking care of Brian. I mean, we're both his parents, you know that, right? And you know that in 10 years or so, Brian is probably going to move out. You need to make the most of the time that we have with our kids while they're still young.
And that will have you know that I care for him a lot, thank you very much. I just am not able to make time for him. Do you have any idea how hard it is earning enough to take care of a family?
Well, I really don't think that a child is going to be satisfied with that answer. And besides, you're always stopping to drink on the way home. Maybe you could not go out drinking with your colleagues for one night and just come home early instead? Or maybe the three of us could go out together somewhere for dinner together.
Okay then, if you really want to go out, how about we go and visit my parents on summer break? My mom is always saying she wants to see Brian.
Do you mean all three of us go visit your parents?
No, I mean just you and Brian go. I have too much to do here, so there's no way I'll be able to get that time off.
Well, if that's the case, I'd probably just take Brian to my parents' place instead.
Wait, what? But shouldn't you be going to visit my parents? I'm the husband after all.
If you come along with us, I'd be more than happy to spend part of the summer with your parents. But if you're not going to be there, then I'd rather visit my parents.
But why? Why would you want to do something like that?
Why? Well, would you want to spend the night at my parents' place if I wasn't there?
Okay, don't go changing the subject on me.
I'm not doing that at all. I'm just asking the same thing that you're asking of me. It's not that I have anything against your parents, but obviously if it's just going to be me, I'd rather go with my parents.
Wow, I really can't believe that you're just going to completely shun my parents like this.
Well, I'm sorry, but I don't think you can really tell me where I should go when you're not even going to be there. If you want to leave taking care of Brian to me, that's fine, but then do that.
You don't get it at all. The point is that you're my wife and you need to do what I say. Do you understand? This is one of your wifely duties and you better go through with it.
Wifely duties? Are you being serious right now? I don't even really know what to say. But I will tell you that this is an equal partnership and that I am nobody's servant.
I can't believe it's already this late in the day. I wasted my whole lunch break talking to you.
Well, I'm sorry to have done that. But anyways, just please try and spend more time with Brian. I mean it, you really need to win back his trust. This is really serious, okay?
Yeah, I know what I'm doing, thank you. I'll make time to be with him, I promise. Just quit bugging me about it all the time.
Hey, Donald, are you watching Brian like I asked you to?
Yeah, I am, don't worry.
Well, I'm really sorry that I had to leave the house so suddenly.
It's okay. I know that you really liked that professor and he just suddenly died, so it's good that you're at the funeral.
Yeah, man, I don't think anyone saw her passing coming at all.
I know. Didn't you tell me that she was still only just in her 50s? That's so young.
I know, but I guess that's just life. Anyways, how are things going with Brian? You remember that you told him that you were going to take him to the toy store to buy him some toys, right?
Yeah, I know what I said, but I don't think we're gonna be able to go.
Wait, really? Why not?
Because the little kid got sick. His fever is in the high 90s right now.
He has a fever? Are you sure about this? Is he okay?
Of course I'm sure, and yes, he's okay. I think that it's just a little cold. I gave him some medicine and put him to bed, though.
Well, I see. Do you think that we should take him to the hospital? I mean, I know that there are still some clinics that would be open this late.
You worry too much, Janet. The kid is going to be just fine. I'm with him, so there's nothing to worry about. He's just a little sick, but if he gets any worse, I'll be sure to take him to the doctor.
Okay, but just please keep a close eye on him, okay? I mean, you're really sure that he's okay?
I am telling you that he's fine. Man, you're persistent. Do you know that? Besides, I just woke up and I'm starving.
Okay then, but please just take good care of Brian, okay? By the way, your boss is here at the funeral.
Wait, my boss? Who are you talking about?
Mr. Vasquez?
Oh, really? What is he doing there?
Well, I guess that he knew my old professor, so that's why he's here at her wedding as well.
I see. Well, just don't say anything rude to him, got it? I don't need you screwing with my life from there.
I wasn't really gonna say anything, actually. He was the one who came over to greet me.
Well, just make sure that you go and shake his hand when you're about to leave.
Yeah, of course. By the way, I was gonna leave in the afternoon, so I probably won't come home until this evening. So please just take care of the house and Brian until then, okay? I promise to be home as soon as I can. Donald, I want you to answer the phone right now. What is going on? Did you go out to drink with your buddies again?
Man, you are such a pain. Do you know that? What is it? What do you want?
Have you even read any of the messages that I've been sending you? Brian's condition was so bad that I had to rush him to the ER.
Oh, I see. But are you already there? Is he being seen right now?
He is! So I want to know why you haven't come already since I sent messages about this already. Don't you care at all that our son is in the hospital?
Well, if he's already being treated and he's not going to die, I don't really see what the big deal is. Why would I go all the way to the hospital? It's not like if I go see him that he'll suddenly get better or something like that. I'm sure they'll let him out soon anyways.
Are you being serious right now? I asked you to watch over Brian. I thought that's what you were doing this whole time.
I know, but then I put him to sleep and I just thought that I'd step out for a little bit.
So you left our sick child home alone so that you could go out and drink?
Man, you were so annoying. Do you know that? I'll have you know that this isn't just for fun. This is work business. I got a sudden call and I had to go into work. You mean that your boss, Mr. Vasquez, called you in? Because I don't remember doing that. What in the world are you talking about? Put it together, man. It's me, Mr. Vasquez, your boss. Wait a second. This really you, Mr. Vasquez? Of course it is. You don't have any boss by any other name, do you? I really am so sorry, but I am just so confused as to why you're talking to me through my wife's phone. Well, you did hear that I was there at the funeral that your wife was at, yes? I heard that your son had a fever, and so I offered to drive your wife back to town so she wouldn't have to take the charter bus. I am so sorry for my wife making you do that. She shouldn't have been wasting your precious time, sir. The only person who's wasting other people's time here is you, Donald. Besides, you know very well that you don't have any work at all to do. So who told you to go into the office today? Well, I mean, I just thought that I would get a head start on our next big project is all. You see, I did this because I actually have a lot of drive. Let's see. Then I guess you won't mind if I check the office's security footage, right? After all, since you're in the office right now, surely you would show up, correct? I'm really sorry. That was a lie. Yeah, no duh. So how about you tell me where you are and what it is you're doing? I just got a little hungry, so I stepped out of the house to get something to eat, but that's really it. So while your child was suffering from a fever so bad they had to be taken to the ER, you went out to go buy a snack. How could you just leave your own kid at home alone like that? I really am so sorry about this, sir. I don't know what I was thinking. There's no excuse for what I've done. Well, I'm not the one that you should be apologizing to right now. How about you say those words to your wife and son? Now hurry up and get to the hospital. I won't leave this spot until you get here. Janet, are you there? When are you finally going to come back home?
Why in the world would I come home when you're not even going to be there the majority of the time?
Please. I'm already back home from work and I just want you two here. Just come home already, Janet.
I've already told you that that isn't going to happen, haven't I?
So you mean we're just always going to live separated like this from here on out?
No, because like I also told you, we are going to be getting a divorce. You are no longer someone I want to be in a family with.
Please don't say that, Janet. You have no idea how much that hurts me. Think of how hard I worked to provide for us.
You never worked for us. You only ever worked for yourself.
But I even apologized to Brian.
And he told you that he didn't forgive you for what you did, right?
I just thought that he might be a little mad at me, but that he would change his mind soon enough.
Do you have any idea how much water weight his body lost because of you? He is just a child, Donald. He could have died if your boss didn't get me home when I did. You could have at least called me and told me what you were doing. I just don't understand how you could let something like this happen. You know, it was actually Brian who called me while we were on the way home. His voice sounded so weak over the phone. I should have never trusted you to begin with.
No, don't be like that. Of course you can trust me. You have to know that you can. I really was watching him and I only stepped out for a second.
When are you finally going to stop making excuses for yourself, huh? Why can't you just let Brian and I leave in peace without you?
Oh, come on. I was going to take him to the ER as soon as I got back, but I was just hungry. I think you're blowing this way out of proportion.
Do you really think that this is the only reason why I'm divorcing you, Donald?
You mean there's more?
I've been thinking about divorcing you for a long time now, actually. But I just wanted to try and keep us together for Brian's sake. But now that I realize you don't care about him, it's better that I just take him away.
Of course I care about him. Please, bring him back. I'll play with him. I'll go to his soccer games, all of it, I swear.
It's too late for that. I don't want anything to do with you ever again. And frankly, I don't know if Brian is ever going to forgive you for what you've done to him.
But remember what you said? We only have a limited time with our children. You can't just take that away from me.
Oh, I am not taking it away from you, Donald. You have done that yourself. And I heard from Mr. Vasquez that you've just been a mess at work. You barely show up and you've been taking so much time off but spending none of it at home. In fact, I know that you just spend time with girls at bars getting drunk and flirting with waitresses.
I won't deny it, but you have to understand that I only do that as a way of relieving stress and that's it.
I don't care what you have to say for yourself. I am sick and tired of all your lies and excuses that you've made up.
Please, I promise to be there more. I promise to actually watch over Brian, to play with him, to go to his soccer games. I'll do whatever you want of me.
And where were all of these words before when I was actually asking for these things? Now, the only thing that I want from you is a divorce. I don't love you. I don't want to be with you. I just want to spend the rest of my life as far from you as possible.
But I really am sorry for everything. I'm so sorry, Janet. You have to believe me. Please, don't just leave me like this.
I am not leaving you, Donald. You left us. I am just finally brave enough to walk away.
But please, can't you just come home for a little bit so that we can talk in person? I haven't been able to sleep at all. I felt sick and groggy and I just need you to come back home for just a few months is all. I need someone to cook for me while I get over this.
You think that you're sick? You're asking me to take care of you? Is that supposed to be a joke?
Of course not. Who knows what might happen to me at this rate?
Well, you know what, Donald? That isn't my problem. You will sign the divorce papers, and then you will stay out of our lives. After that, I hired a lawyer who was able to drag Donald through the divorce process, kicking and screaming. It turns out that Donald really was sick, and he started puking his guts out and lost a bunch of weight. But it didn't change my mind one bit about what needed to be done. Finally, we were divorced, and I was able to make sure that Donald would pay child support. I heard from Mr. Vasquez that Donald had tried to take about a month off of work to recover, and that his performance is worse than ever now that he's back. I don't know what's going to happen to Donald next, but I don't really care, to be honest. According to Mr. Vasquez, however, he told me that Donald was basically going to be stuck in the same position he's in now for the rest of his career if he decided to still work for him. Either way, Donald has made these decisions, and now he will have to live with the consequences. Of course, there's still a lot that I'm worried about for him, but I'm glad to be so close with my parents, who I know will do a good job of taking care of him when I need their help. I try not to rely on them too much, but they know how little help I got with Donald, and they're always trying to offer a helping hand to me. I know that one day Brian might decide that he wants to have a relationship with his father, and I won't stop him if that day ever comes. But for now, I need to make sure that Brian grows up healthily and with good role models. And for now, that means keeping him away from his lecherous father. At least, not if I can do anything about it.
Thank you for watching. Don't forget to hit the like button and subscribe to the channel.
Hey James, sorry to bother you while you're at work. I was just wondering, were you planning on coming home tonight, or will you stay at the office again? I'm pretty close to passing out as things stand, so I was thinking about going to bed soon. I understand you're probably busy at work, but if you could just shoot me a quick text letting me know, I'd appreciate it. I just need to know whether I should put on the door chain or not.
Nah, not gonna be home tonight. I'd think I wouldn't have to tell you that at this point. You know how crazy things have been around here lately.
Don't you remember what happened a few weeks ago? You were out past midnight, so I chained up the door. But then you came home at like 1 a.m. and got ticked off at me for the door being locked.
Tell me, Megan, did I tell you I wasn't coming home that day? No, I didn't.
I tried to text you and ask if you were coming, but you didn't respond. I figured you had fallen asleep at your desk or something. You've heard all...
Then you should have texted me sooner. Plus, really, a freaking door chain? What's the point in using that thing anyway?
You've heard all the reports of break-ins in the area lately, haven't you? The house 3 doors down from us got robbed last month. And just last week, our neighbors across the street had their car windows smashed.
Yeah, and they shouldn't have left such an expensive car in the driveway. Unlike them, we don't have anything worth stealing. You're getting way too worried about this. You should knock off watching all those true crime podcasts. They're infecting your brain.
But those are really, really interesting.
Is it worth the excitement if it's making you paranoid? Plus, thieves aren't idiots, Megan. They don't try to break into a house when someone's home. That's an easy way to get shot. And in the worst case scenario where someone does break in, just give them whatever they want. Then they'll be on their way and you can go back to sleep.
You have got to be kidding me. You honestly think they'll be satisfied with that?
What? Do you think they'll want something else from you? Just give that to them too.
Don't you dare joke about that.
Oh, lighten up. It's not gonna happen. Anyway, if that's what they're after, some lousy door chain isn't gonna stop them. It's pointless. Plus, our house is the oldest one on the block. Why would any thief avoid all the nice houses just to rob ours?
Well, I'm glad at least one of us is confident in my safety.
Oh, one more thing. I'll be out of town on business next week. I need you to get my suitcase all packed up for me.
How long will you be gone?
3 days or so, maybe 4. I'll only need my suit for 1 day, though, so pack 1 suit and 3 days' worth of street clothes.
Really? That's odd for a business trip.
We're gonna do some sightseeing on Saturday. There's no way I'm gonna wear my suit outside of the office.
All right, well, I'll work on getting that all put together over the next few days then. Oh, hey, one more thing. Your mom called today. She wanted to know if you were planning on coming to the family dinner next month. She said she's been trying to get a response from you for a while, but you haven't answered any of her calls or texts.
Why do I have to handle every little thing by myself? I'm busy, you're not. Tell her I'm still thinking about it.
James, don't you get it? She doesn't want to hear it from me. She wants to talk to you. You're her son, and she misses you.
Hey, whatever. I'll send her a text sometime in the next few days. Will that make you happy?
It's not about making me happy. And what about that dinner? Are you gonna go?
Can't you just go by yourself?
What? You want me to go alone?
Self. As the man of the house, I hereby designate you as our family's representative. There, it's official. I'm gonna be really busy at work next month. I doubt I'll be able to make it.
Come on, James. How many times is this now that I've had to go and visit your parents all by myself? Why is it that I'm visiting your parents more than you are? And why are you almost never at home lately? Something's going on, James, and I don't like it at all. It's starting to feel like we're less of a married couple and more just roommate.
Oh my God, Megan, tell it to your therapist. What do you think this is, the 1960s? This is just how marriages work these days.
I don't care how other marriages work. I care about ours.
Here's how our marriage works. I make all the money, you work some lousy part-time job, so you have more free time. You can use that free time to take care of stuff around the house and keep my parents off my back. Got it? I'm going back to work now. Don't text me anymore. I won't answer. For God's sake, Megan, I sure hope you're enjoying yourself in that hospital room getting waited on by nurses, because it sure does suck having to pack my own freaking suitcase. Some housewife you are.
I am not enjoying the constant pain and inability to walk by myself, thank you for asking. Seriously, you think I wanted to be hospitalized?
If you just packed my suitcase right away when I told you to, I wouldn't have to do it myself right now.
I think the circumstances call for a teensy bit more understanding on your part. I walked out of the house and an old woman was being robbed right before my eyes. Was I supposed to just abandon her? You have no idea what that thief was prepared to do to her. I watched him punch her once and he was probably prepared to do it again, or worse.
Don't make yourself out to be some kind of hero. You were pathetic. You tried to intervene, he pushed you down, and he still got away. Some help you were.
Well, excuse me if I didn't want to see an old woman murdered in broad daylight.
You shouldn't have gotten involved. I don't care about some old woman getting robbed. Old women get robbed all around the world every day. That's not my problem. What is my problem is you not being able to do the housework.
Oh no, I'm so sorry. You have to take care of yourself for a change.
Excuse me? What's that supposed to mean?
Every single day of the week, I'm either going to my part-time job, doing the housework, or both. Plus, I'm constantly going to your parents' house to visit them because you never do it. And what are you contributing to this relationship, James? In all the time I've been in the hospital, you haven't even come to see me once.
I text you plenty.
Yeah, only when you feel like complaining about me not being around to work as your maid.
Don't complain to me about how little housework I do. I'm too busy with real work.
Are you too busy to be a decent husband to your wife who, may I remind you, is in the hospital right now with a broken leg?
You! All you ever think about is you! What about me? Without you around, I have no one to fix me dinner, and you would not believe the pile of laundry over here that you need to wash. You're over there in the hospital laying around all day while I have to take care of everything. So I don't want to hear any complaints out of you. Who do you think is gonna pay for your hospital bill anyway?
I bring in income while doing all the housework.
Oh yeah, I'm sure you could afford to pay for your ambulance ride and multi-day hospital stay on your minimum wage job.
How can you be talking like this to your own wife?
God damn it, this sucks! Why couldn't you have gotten hit by a car or something?
What kind of question is that?
Duh! If you got hit by a car, we could have sued the driver. We'd get your hospital bills paid for and pain and suffering damages. But since you failed to stop the thief from getting away, we have no one to sue.
Is money really what's important to you right now?
Since you had to go and play Wonder Woman, I'm on the hook for a massive hospital bill and have to do my job and do all the housework. What did you get out of saving that woman anyway? Money? Jewelry? Oh, wait, you got nothing. You have no idea how much I'm going through because of you.
Oh, you poor, poor thing.
Anyway, like I said, I'm gonna be out of town for a while. Don't bother messaging me. I'll be too busy to answer. Hurry up and get that leg of yours fixed. You have a ton of work to do around here. As soon as you get home, start doing the laundry. I'm running low on shirts. Oh, for the love of God, Megan, when are you getting released from the hospital? Next month? You cannot be serious. What on earth is taking so long?
They're doctors, James, not miracle workers. It was a really bad fracture. They had to operate and everything. They're not just going to kick me right from the operating table out onto the street.
That's it. I have had it. I know this may not be the best timing with you in the hospital and all, but I've made up my mind. I want to get divorced.
What?
You've become completely useless to me. What good is a housewife who's never in the house? When we got married, I thought I was getting a woman capable of cooking and cleaning. You know, everything I need you to do for me. But now you're just dead weight.
I cannot believe what you're saying to me.
Believe it or not, this is real, Megan. It's not like you're gonna go back to normal anytime soon either. Even after you get home, you're gonna have to use a wheelchair or crutches or something, right?
I mean, for a while, yeah, and I'll need to go to physical therapy too. But it's not like I'm gonna be bedridden or anything.
Yeah, so it's exactly what I thought. You're gonna be completely useless to me for the foreseeable future. I'm not waiting around that long. We're through. I'll pack up your stuff for you. Should I send it to your parents' house?
This is ridiculous, James. You won't even wait until I'm out of the hospital to divorce me?
With you stuck in the hospital, it'll be way easier to avoid dealing with you. I want to get everything taken care of before your release.
James, fine, whatever. Go ahead and send my stuff to my parents' house.
I'll send it cash on delivery. I'm not paying for shipping. And let me make one thing perfectly clear. I don't want to hear you playing the victim, got it? This divorce is 100% your fault. Who chose to help that old woman? You. Who got hurt? You. Who can't fulfill her marital duties anymore? You. Think about it this way. What would any company do to an employee who stopped doing their job? They'd fire them, right? Well, that's exactly what I'm doing right now. I'm firing you as my wife.
You know, that analogy actually makes a lot of sense, James. It explains exactly why you're getting fired, too.
Huh?
You're right. I can't imagine many companies would keep employees on payroll when they're both incompetent and sleeping with their female subordinate.
Wait. What are you talking about?
Oh, come on, James. Don't play dumb with me. You arranged for a fake business trip with a client that doesn't exist, so you could have a vacation with your mistress on the company's dime.
Out. How?
How did I find out you were having an affair? Well, this may come as a surprise, but I've been keeping tabs on you for quite some time now.
But There's no way you could be watching me. You're in the hospital. Even if you weren't, I think I'd notice someone in a freaking wheelchair following me around.
I'm not doing it personally, you moron. I hired a private detective.
No way. That's impossible. Private detectives cost a ton of money, and you don't have any. How could someone working for minimum wage afford something like that? You're bluffing, aren't you? Trying to get me to admit to something. Well, it's not gonna work. I admit nothing.
You remember the old woman I rescued from the thief? It turns out she was very, very wealthy. And when I saved her that night, she told me she wanted to give me a token of her gratitude. That token was a wad of cash as big around as my arm. I tried to refuse at first, but she insisted that she wanted to do something to repay me. She said that she could tell from the look on my face that I was troubled about something and asked me what was going on. That's when I told her that I suspected that my husband was cheating on me. She paused for a second, then said, "Well, I know just the person to talk to about that." So she hired the single best private detective in the city to check you out for me.
Thing. Oh, no.
Oh, yes. I have the receipts, James.
Oh. I had no idea you were even suspicious of me.
How stupid do you think I am? Of course I was suspicious. You all of a sudden started staying at the office overnight and going on business trips, both things you never used to do. But that wasn't even the biggest clue for me. You should clean out your pockets before putting them in the wash. I found receipts for expensive lingerie that's way too small for me. Also, remember that I'm the person who pays your credit card bills for you? You've spent about $500 over the last month at the same pay-by-the-hour motel. After I found that out, I started putting your clothes through the wash twice. I don't want whatever diseases you picked up in that place.
Hold on. Why did you say I'm getting fired? Oh, no. Don't tell me. You didn't tell my company about this, did you?
No, I didn't tell them a thing. I didn't have to. There's something else about the woman I saved that I think you should know. You and her son are acquainted.
Wait, we are? How?
I'm sure you've run into each other a few times at your office.
How? Who is he?
He's the company's CEO.
What?
You thought you had the perfect plan, didn't you? You were going to get rid of me and be free to start a happy new life with your mistress/subordinate. Well, I'm very sorry to say that your plans are going to change a bit. You can still be together, but you're both going to be unemployed very soon.
What? No, this can't be happening. Tell me this is just a prank, Megan. Tell me I'm not really getting fired.
Unfortunately for you, this is not a prank. You're going down, James. It's your choice to believe it or not, though. You'll find out that I'm telling the truth sooner or later. I imagine your boss will be calling you into his office for a little chat sometime in the near future.
Fired? I still think you're bluffing. You were talking a big game about having receipts, but you haven't shown any. I'm still not admitting to anything. As far as I know, you just made all that stuff up. Hey there, Megan. I was wondering, could we talk one of these days? I tried to visit your hospital room earlier, but they said you were refusing visitors.
Not visitors, just you specifically. I'm afraid that being in your presence would be bad for my mental health. You'll just have to wait until I get healthy enough to be released from the hospital.
Visitors. Really, though? All you did was break your leg. I don't see what your mental health has to do with that.
The literature is very clear on this, you know. Mental health is extremely important for recovering from any sort of injury or illness. Stress is bad for the body.
Hey, I guess I understand, but I wish you'd give me a chance to apologize properly.
Looks like your boss finally called you in for that little conversation, huh? I tried to tell you I wasn't bluffing.
They're gonna fire me for sure. It's only a matter of time, which means I have to move as quickly as possible to save my job.
James, you lied to your company in order to get them to pay for a vacation with your mistress, who is also your subordinate. What exactly do you think you can do to avoid getting fired at this point? That's basically a one-way ticket to the unemployment line, even if you weren't an abysmal employee before that.
And I am so sorry for what I did. I was a total moron. I am willing to do whatever it takes to make things right with you. Don't you think we can start over? Try again?
Well, this is a change of heart for you. You don't want to get divorced anymore?
Again? I've been doing some serious soul searching over the last few days, and now I realize that there is no other woman in the world who I'd rather be with than you. You've always been great to my parents, and they love you too. You're a terrific housewife. You're a great cook. You're everything I could ask for in a wife. I may have been confused for a while, but I realize that now.
If only you could have realized that before cheating on me and embezzling company money.
I swear, Megan, I learned my lesson. I'll never do anything to hurt you ever again. What do I need to do to prove myself to you? You name it, I'll do it. You want me to do more of the housework? Done. The next time I go out of town, I'll pack my own suitcase. Oh, and I'll even start going to visit my parents with you.
You're far too late to make amends. You're not the only one who's been doing some soul searching. I've been doing that ever since I got suspicious that you were cheating on me. I thought back to when we were dating and at the beginning of our marriage. You used to be the most caring and loving man I'd ever met.
I can be that man again, Megan, if you'll just give me one more chance.
No, James, you don't get any more chances. After the way you've been treating me since I got hurt, I have completely lost any feelings I once had for you. Honestly, this has been a long time coming. Even before that woman hired the private detective for me, I knew deep down that this is how things would end. I was already at peace with leaving you.
No, I don't want to get divorced.
Yeah, I don't imagine you do, now that you realize you're losing everything. But that's not about you rediscovering your love for me. That's just fear of repercussions.
No, it's not, I swear. When the CEO called me to his office to tell me I was fired, he went on and on about how stupid I was to betray you. He said that only a complete idiot would betray a woman as beautiful, kind, and intelligent as you. And that was what really opened my eyes. I was a complete idiot.
Really? You only remembered what a catch I was because your boss complimented me? If anything, that only makes me want to divorce you even more.
So you really don't have any feelings for me anymore? None at all? You said it yourself, though. You remember how things used to be. That has to mean that there's still something there. We've had lots of good times, haven't we?
Oh, for sure we have. But those good times are all in the past. So much so that I don't even know what our last good time was. You've been treating me like a live-in maid for as long as I can remember. You were a good man and you were a good husband, and that's why I've been putting up with your behavior for as long as I have. But I can't do it anymore. Like, do you remember what the very first message you sent to me after I got to the hospital was? You were complaining about having to do your own chores, like packing your suitcase for your fake business trip. You weren't concerned about me in the slightest.
I told you, I'm sorry about that.
But the icing on the cake was when you told me that you wished I got hit by a car instead. After you said that, I knew there was no point in me trying to make this work anymore. There's nothing about being with you that makes it worth dealing with your appalling lack of empathy.
I was an idiot, Megan! A jerk, a scumbag, a slime ball! The lowest of the low! I hurt you terribly, and I regret everything I did more than you could possibly know!
I don't believe you. I have no reason to believe you. You don't have a sincere bone in your body.
I'm begging you, please give me just one more chance. From now on, I'm gonna be the kind of husband that you deserve. I'll make you even happier than you were back when we first got married. And not to mention, think about it. Do you really want to become single again at your age? Your marriage prospects are getting thinner by the day. Plus, you only work part-time. How are you gonna support yourself?
Oh, you don't need to worry about that at all. In addition to the money and the private detective, that woman also got me a job at a company one of her friends owns. We had an interview web meeting the other day, and they say I am perfect for the job. So the very day I get released, I'm gonna start working there.
Self. You what? You had an interview and accepted a job offer without even telling me? You had no right to do that.
Yes, I do.
No, you don't. I'm still your husband, Megan. And as your husband, you have a duty to consult with me before making these kinds of decisions. We might be talking about divorce, but we're not divorced yet.
Are you kidding me? Who was it who first brought up the divorce? It was you. You called me useless and said you wanted to divorce me before I got released from the hospital so you could avoid dealing with me. You have no right to be a party to any decision I make anymore.
Well, sure, I may have said something to that effect, but circumstances have changed. I don't want to get divorced anymore.
Oh, for the love of... Grow up, James. Seriously, you're acting like a little kid right now. We're through. I'm not even the slightest bit interested in anything you have to say regarding how I live my life.
More? Oh, so you're just going to abandon me? Don't you care about what happens to me now?
No, I don't care what happens to a cheating, lying, uncaring, unfeeling loser like you. You said you were going to fire me as your wife because I couldn't do your chores for you, right? Well, that's what I'm going to do to you now. James, you're fired. James kept messaging me, trying to get me to take him back after that, so I told him to talk to my lawyer and blocked his number. He fought the divorce at first, but that didn't last long after my new friend got involved. Her son, James's boss, told him that unless he consented to a peaceful divorce, the company would sue him and press charges against him for embezzlement. James naturally accepted the deal and escaped criminal responsibility. Both he and his mistress were, however, terminated for stealing company funds. He and his mistress moved in together for a short time, but they soon broke up. I have no idea where they are or what they're doing now. As for me, my leg is healed and I have a great new job, a great new friend, and life has never been better. James said I didn't get anything out of stopping that thief, but wow, was he wrong. I barely ever think about him anymore. He's absolutely nothing to me now. From now on, I'm living life on my own terms.